Hello.
Hi, Prof. Good morning to you. How are you today?
Good morning, Bibby. I'm very well indeed. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Very good. And yeah, it's Sunday. What is there not to like about Sunday morning? You know, it's sunrise. Anyway, viewers, welcome to the show. It's great to have you joining us this morning. Yes, it's another Sunday. Prof, last week, the weather was a bit kind of funny. It was raining. There was sun at some point. There were like thunderstorms and different things. Basically, the whole of the week. I don't know how it happened in your own end. Was that the same thing you saw as well, or was
of course,
it different?
We're in different cities. Well, at least we're very close proximity in that sense. Yes, the weather. But you know what? Can you believe this is the second week of April?
Prof, I cannot believe it. And I have to say, I was speaking to a friend on the 6th of April, which was a Tuesday. And my friend said to me, I just can't believe how fast this year is running. Like, how are we in April already? And I'm like, you know what? This is why I always say, live your life and enjoy life. You know, be present, be very present, because the days are going so fast. Before we know it, it will be mid-year, you know, it'll be June. And then before you know it, it will be time for Christmas again. But we are grateful as we prepare for Easter. You know, it's I was saying to someone, I said Easter is actually one of those, like, the main season that we should really celebrate as Christians, that we should go all out. But it's like everything happens during Christmas, you know. But again, I don't know. I mean, what plans have you got for Easter? Are you going away as well, or are you even away? Doesn't look like you're away yet, because yes, I will know when you're away.
Not yet, but soon. Yes, in the next couple of weeks. But you know, this thing about Easter, I was speaking to somebody during the week last week, and I was saying something, and then I went, "Oh, it's Easter next week." Can you believe it? You know, next Sunday, exactly a week today. Easter,
yes,
right?
yes.
You know, I know what you mean. When you say time flies, so, you know, you're betraying the fact that you're an adult and you're fully into this whole thing called adulting. Because when you're a child, time just crawls.
It crawls. I know. I remember I used to say, oh my God, you look at the time and it's only 11 o'clock and you've been awake for so long and you're thinking, what is going on? Why is the time dragging like this? But nowadays, it's like before you even blink, it's 9 p.m., you know, and then it's another day. But we're thankful. I always say that, you know, it's an evidence of the fact that we are busy, not busy doing nothing, busy living life, you know, doing what we need to do. And that's why we're grateful. So yes, absolutely grateful to God for that. Prof, so today I know most people are already in the spirit of Easter because the children are on holiday from school. So, but again, some will be getting ready to go back to school now. But yes, just reflecting over last week, you know, some of the events that we saw that happened last week. And I thought, okay, today let's talk about the power of one. And what do I mean by the power of one? You know, I don't want to just go straight into calling it, oh, let's talk about unity, you know, because unity, everyone will get it. But it's more of, let's say, the power of one. What does that even mean? Because when we think about, you know, there's something that needs to be done, and it's going to be done by several people, not just one person. But remember, they all have same goal. There's one goal that needs to be achieved, but you then need about 10 or 5 or 15, however many people to achieve that goal. So how important is it that all the different aspects of, you know, achieving the goal works as one? How important? So if we take, for example, last week we saw the delays with the airlines, you know. In fact, I had a couple of colleagues that were caught up in that as well. Their flights were delayed for over 24 hours. And I was like, oh, I'm sure you're going to get some compensations and whatnot and everything. They said, oh, trust me, you know, with BA, you just never know how long these things will last and everything. But I mean, I saw on the news the way the queues at Manchester Airport, even Stansted, Heathrow, and another airport as well. I'm not sure if it was Luton Airport or something. There was another fourth airport. But we saw the delays. But the delays were caused by something.
Yes.
Right. Something that, yes, they were talking about it. We saw that even the one of the managers at the airport, I think it was Manchester Airport, that decided to leave because he couldn't just handle the fact that he saw people were queuing outside of the airport. Now, I thought about this. I mean, as a risk manager, for me, it's about, okay, how did this happen? What happened here? And we know they said it was because there were a lot of sicknesses due to COVID. That was why they had a lot of delays. So they were short-staffed and whatnot and everything. But can we see how, so when you're traveling and they say your flight is at 10 a.m., you plan yourself, you leave your home, you get to the airport, you get on the flight, 10 o'clock, you're in the air. Before you know it, you land at the time you've been told to land. You actually do not appreciate how much work and how many people have been involved in ensuring that you take off at the time and land at the exact time that you've been told you will land. Now, Prof, let's talk about this. I mean, I would like to hear your views on this, because I know that there are lessons for us to learn here and how we can ensure that in whatever we do, we work and understand. And maybe the first thing is even understanding how powerful it is to work in one accordance. So yeah, I'll leave it to you to take on from here.
Thank you, Bibby. I think you really said, very much of it. When we talk of this power of one, the idea of the power of one, it's not just a physical and operational concept. It's also a spiritual concept, right? Even in our faith, we see all of this starting. The foundation of our faith is our God is one, even though He's Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
Son and Holy Spirit, yes.
But you have that unity of purpose, oneness, 3 in 1. Now, it's a mystery that is not easily explained, in kind of a human language. So maybe if we look at the idea of the story of the Tower of Babel, the same concept is being espoused there. As long as the people were united, there were many of them, but they were as one. They were so united in purpose, in vision, and in execution that they could do pretty much anything they wanted to do. But as soon as a critical element of that oneness was removed, which was speaking the same language. Now, when we think of the same language, we think, and perhaps rightly so, that this meant physical, natural language. It could be that, but if we consider that language is more than just what comes out of our mouths. Language is expressed in the form of shared values. Language is expressed in the form of a shared vision. Language is expressed in the form of shared executional tactics and so forth, pulling in the same direction. Once people are speaking the same language, what you get is chaos. What you get is, no matter how wonderfully put together the plan and the architectural specifications are for that tower, it will not continue, it will fall down. And so the power of one is so important that we see everywhere. Look through history. You think of the great, the powerful empire of Alexander the Great, when he built this massive and one great empire, and after his death, it was broken up into 3 or so forth. That started the downward spiral of it, the power of one. Look at Rome. As long as they were united in discipline, united in vision, united in purpose, the empire was working. And then decadence entered in. People lost their discipline. That oneness of discipline and execution was lost, and then the empire collapsed. What are we saying here? We're about to go on the break, but just before we go on that break, I think I want to emphasize here, you know how they say that culture eats strategy for breakfast. Strategy is, everybody talks about strategy. Culture, strategy for breakfast. I would say oneness eats vision for breakfast. The power of one is stronger than the greatness of the vision.
Of the vision. Oh, wow. Prof, that's a good place to stop. But viewers, don't go anywhere. When we come back, it will be our spotlight segment. We'll see you shortly.
The last 2 years and more have truly been unprecedented and challenging. The pandemic, consequent restrictions, and total alteration of our lifestyles has done a number on all of us. But we survived. We, the church, survived. House on the Rock London survived. And now it's time to thrive. Calling on members of the House to a special Zoom town hall meeting on Sunday the 24th of April at 5 p.m. prompt. No member of House on the Rock London should be absent from this meeting. We will be opening up the books and sharing how we survived and how we can still thrive together. Attendance is free, but registration is mandatory, so don't delay. Register today via the QR code or the details following. See you there.
Hello, Minister.
Hello, Minister Godswill. Good morning
Hi, Bibby.
to you.
Hi, Minister Zuby. Nice to be here with you guys.
Oh, nice
Again,
to
yes,
be here with us again. You forgot the again, you know?
Yeah,
True. That's
last
been a
week
while
we were
ago.
yes, last week we were talking of repeat guests. And I think you are again one
Yes.
of our repeat guests. If I'm not mistaken, this is your
Like
third
the fourth
time?
Is it
second
third?
time.
Second time.
Just the second time.
No,
Okay.
it can't be your second time. It's your third time. Yes.
When was
Yes,
the
you're
second
one of
one
those
then?
people that we should give the key, the keys to SonRise doors to, because you're now part of the family, so you can come in as you like and then go out as you like. Yes, it's your third time. It's great to have you back on the show with us. Viewers, please make welcome Minister Godswill this morning, who's joined us. Loving your setup this morning. Wow, how have you been?
I'm good. Yeah, enjoying the weather is cold, and yeah, having to juggle so many things on a Sunday morning and still be in church is interesting, but
well done. Yes, we know the Lord is your strength. I hear you very clearly on the weather, because it's sunny, but trust me, it's very cold. But maybe about 12 noon by 1 p.m. probably starts to get a bit warm, kind of. But anyways, we are grateful to God. We thank God for another opportunity. Thank you for joining us this morning again. And for this segment, I was going to call you Prof there now, you see, because you all have titles. Minister Godswill. So you've joined us for our segment, our Spotlight segment, no longer Spotlight Minutes, because you're going to be here for longer than a minute. And so in this segment, what we want to hear from you, it's more around any sort of experience that you've had maybe in recent times, or even at some point in your life, basically, that you think might be of good information to us, or maybe we can learn something from. But before we go into what we're going to learn from that experience, we'd like to know if there's anything so interesting that you can share with us this morning.
That's an interesting question. I've had so many experiences in life, as you can see from my gray hair that's about to come out. But yeah, the one I would like to talk about is the experience I have at the beginning of COVID, while I was out of work for 12 months.
Wow.
Yeah, that
wow. Out of work for, as we say, in between contracts for 12 months. That's a whole year. Wow. I'm sure, I want to hear more about that. I want to know what happened then. I'm sure Prof wants to, as well as our viewers. So please, can you tell us a bit more about this experience?
Yeah, so this happened 2 years ago. I was on a good contract, everything was going well. And then the government came out with IR35, and the company I was working with, they decided that every contractor that was working with them was going to go inside IR35. So I decided to leave. I found another job. And prior to that, I had been contracting for about 5 years and had never been out of contract. I've always had a contract. So at that point, I left that job, went to a new one that offered me outside IR35. And while I was there, COVID hit, and they had to let all their contractors go. And I thought I'm going to find something easily. First month passed, nothing happened. Second month, third month, and all the way till 12 months. And I still can't believe how I survived, but I'm still here. And eventually, after 12 months, last year, March, I was able to get back into contract, and it's been great since then.
So, that's very interesting. And if I may just ask this question, in the 12 months, because I haven't been a contractor myself before in the past, if you're ever out of contract like you, I've never been out of contract, even up till now. But for the 12 months, I'm sure that those months actually felt like a whole lot longer than 12 months. But every single day when you wake up, what was your routine like? What did you do? Were there any thoughts going through your mind, or did you try to get something different completely from your line of work, or what? Yeah, just give us a bit more.
It was an interesting period for me because at that time, my wife was pregnant, and we had our second daughter a month after I left the contract. So once after the contract ended, well, it didn't end, they terminated it. After it was terminated, I got busy preparing for the delivery of our baby. And then once baby came, busy, raising the child and looking after that, after the baby. And also always looking for work as well, because I was searching every day, I was applying, but because of the pandemic, so many people were out of work at the same time. So getting something was challenging, but I wasn't really idle. I was busy. There was so much keeping me busy. I ventured into different other businesses that I never thought I would be getting my hands into. It was really interesting.
Oh, okay. That's good. I mean, like having to look after a baby, welcome a baby when you're in between contracts is actually a lot of work in its own right. So yes, well done.
Enforced paternity leave.
Exactly. So well done. We thank God for that. Minister Godswill, as you've said, this was something that happened to you. But why did this experience have such an impact on you? Is it because you had a baby on the way, or was it just because it was so unexpected and it just happened? Why did it have such impact?
It had an impact on me for a few reasons. One is that I never thought I would be out of work for that long. And like I said, prior to that, contracting for 5 years and, always jumping from one to another and no break. And having that happen showed me that, nothing is ever permanent. There's nothing that's secure for you. At some point, I had to question my skill set and everything. It was a trying period. It was challenging. However, the most important thing for me was that throughout the entire time, God saw me and my family through, and in the sense that He was always making a way. We never lacked anything that we needed. He supplied all our needs according to His riches, as the Bible says. And he just made a way, and the time kept passing, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, up until the 12th month. He just made provision, and it's amazing how you begin to see the hand of God in a time of trial. And He used people, He used different people to come through for us. He used people to, you would just come across people that would say, okay, I'm going to bless you with this. And you'd be surprised. I wasn't expecting that. And God was just opening doors. So even though the work door was closed, God opened different other doors that He was able to use to sustain us. And why that was impactful was that He taught me not to box God into a corner. There are different ways that He can come through for you. There are different ways that He can make provisions. There are different ways that He can make things happen. It doesn't have to be through work. He's always the plan.
Oh, wow. In fact, I don't think I need to even ask you if there's any takeaway for our viewers this morning, because I feel like you've already preached. You've said quite a few things already. Thank you so very much, Minister Godswill. I know people might still say, oh yeah, but you said all of these things. Is there anything from this experience, one thing that you would like to give to our viewers this morning as, I've come here today. If you're going to remember this episode for anything, I want you to remember for this. Is there that thing that you would like our viewers to take away from here this morning?
The takeaway for me would be, don't give up, trust in God. No matter what the situation may be, no matter how long you may be in that situation for, keep looking up to Him. He's going to come through for you. Things are going to turn around. When things turned around for me, it was amazing. I was having multiple contract offers at the same time, and I had to be making choices which ones to go with.
Wow.
So God is going to turn things around, but just stay faithful. Throughout the time that I was out of contract, I never at any point miss any of my commitments to God. I remain committed to His work and doing the things that He called me to do. And when it was time for Him to turn things around, He did. So
It did.
Don't
Wow. There you have it, people. Thank you so much, Minister. You see, in fact, I'm going to give you Prof as well, because I don't know why I want to call you Prof. Anyway, thank you so very much, Minister Godswill. It's been great having you on the show. I know we've all learned something, even our viewers as well. So viewers, please do feel loved. Minister, I mean, he's probably going to be on stage after this show now. So, but we thank you. We appreciate you. We love you. Thank you again for joining us this morning. God bless you. We will see you in service.
Bless you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Do you want a revival in your prayer life? Do you want to take the hit and miss out of prayer? Do you want guaranteed answers to your prayers? Well, this month's live class series is just for you. It's Prayer School. Come learn how to pray in the new covenant. If God already knows our needs and the work has already been finished in Christ, why and how are we to pray? These and many other relevant questions will be answered in this series. Don't keep it to yourself. Tell everyone that needs a breakthrough to join in every Wednesday from 7:25 p.m. on all our digital platforms. See you there.
Oh, wow. Welcome back, viewers. Prof, do you know, that was so amazing. See what Minister Godswill was talking about, you know, it was say, I mean, the takeaway from his segment was, you know, hold on to God, trust God. And we're talking about the power of oneness, you know, and I mean, how can we really link this together? Because when we're holding on, how do you hold on to something and you get the right grip that you need to get? If you're holding on to something with one hand, you know, I have two hands and I'm holding on to something with one, but I need my second hand to also join in that. But if I decide not to use the second hand, then I won't have the grip that I need to get. So this one is get both hands together and you probably last longer than you would if we're holding on to one. That was so great. Prof, you know where you ended before we went on to our Spotlight Minutes? You said something that was so profound. I had to write it down, like, you know, just write it down. You said the power of oneness is stronger than the greatness of the vision. So the power of oneness is stronger than the greatness of the vision. Prof, can you please expand a little bit more on this for us? And just let us know, I mean, how do we ensure that we actually get the message of oneness to help us achieve the vision that we have before us?
Thank you, Bibby. And, you know, I like the analogy that you used about two hands, and I'll take that even further. Think of the fingers, the digits you have. Try holding onto something with one finger, and then try using two. And then find out that actually your hand is built so that it operates as one, because they all have different purposes, right? And when you use them all together, then you get the maximum value from it. And I think that's what it is, right? You know, last time we talked about how it is that many times we spend time looking at our differences rather than our similarities. And that's where you find that unity in diversity and strength in difference, right? Because that's the power of it. So again, if I refer to the scriptures where the Apostle Paul was writing to the Romans, I think around chapter 12 or thereabouts, where he was talking about how it is that though we are one body, right, but we have different members. And so the eye, he used the analogy of the eye and the hands and, you know, every other part of the body, and saying, you know, even one part of it, when it's not functioning properly, everything else does, right? And so that's it, right? We see everything in nature telling us that. We see everything in our experience telling us that. And yet, so often, when we are doing things in life, we come up against this barrier, and sometimes we maybe don't pay as much attention to it as we should. And so to your question, how do we ensure we leverage that power of oneness in whatever we do? In other words, that we see the maximum benefit from the power of oneness. You know, I think the first thing we need to be doing is really always looking and taking stock of where we are, what we're doing. The last thing we want is to be caught unawares, right? Because again, if you think of holding on, and then we're holding on with 5 fingers, and then one of the fingers pulled out and you didn't know, you don't really want to find out when you're just hanging on by one finger, because
that's right. You're good.
Exactly. it's a lot easier to figure out, hang on, one of the fingers is getting tired or something is happening, that finger is not functioning properly. I need to fix what's wrong with that finger before I try holding on to anything else. Otherwise, I may lose the whole thing that I'm trying to hold on to. So I think that taking stock at every point and saying, where are we? Are we operating in the power of oneness, or as we said, the power of one, as we should be? Where is that breakage happening?
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't want to do that because we don't want to see something we've already.
Don't want to face the reality of things.
Exactly. Yeah. But really, for the benefit, for our own good and the good of everybody else that we're dealing with, we need to do that. So that's the first thing. Take stock and continue to take stock, right? The second thing you want to do is, when you do take that stock, so if you continue to take stock, it means that you see when things are going awry early on.
That's right? Yeah.
And when you do see it, the question is then, what are you going to do about it? Because the last thing you want to do is then where that oneness is missing and then say, right, oneness is missing, I'm not doing anything about it. I know as Christians, sometimes we default to prayer, and prayer has its place, but I'm not sure, I'm yet to see any place, even in the scriptures, where the issue of a loss of oneness is dealt with by prayer alone. Often something needs to change. Sometimes it might be a change in resourcing. It might be moving things around. It might be a change in leadership. Right?
That's right.
Might be a change in perspective. Something needs to change. Yes, prayer gives us direction, right? And sometimes we get inspiration.
Yeah, there has to be actions, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
At the end of it, something needs to be done. And I think it's really these two things. Once you identify where the issue is, you take action. And the kinds of action you can take, you can put those kinds of the action in three ways. You can either say, I'm going to leave things as they are. I hope they change. Well, 10 years later, I can see it's not. Secondly, I'm going to give myself and the group an ultimatum. We need to fix this. Right? Or we do something else. Or thirdly, we're going to stop doing what we're doing right now and try to do it in a different way. Whatever you end up doing will be something along that spectrum. Leave things as they are, give an ultimatum to make a change, or stop doing what you're doing. Anything else, I think, is wishful thinking. Maybe we have to stop there. We're going to have to.
Prof, I think it's so packed. It's a very packed conversation, and it's one that we probably want to explore further. I like what you said about taking stock. Just stop and take stock of where you are, what you're doing. It's not just really about the vision as such. The vision will get delivered, but actually take stock of where you are so that you can understand where you've got gaps and you need to fill those gaps, or even there are opportunities that you can even tap into as you're going along the way. Thank you so much, Prof. Viewers, I hope this has been great. I hope you've enjoyed today's show. Don't go anywhere. It's about time for service. And as always, I like this part. I like the way I even say it. As always, Prof, please take us into service.
Thank you, Bibby. And thank you, everyone. Don't go anywhere. It's the second Sunday in April, the Sunday before Easter. And we've got a feast set for us at the Rock Tower. See you there. God bless you. Enjoy the rest of the day.
See you all. Bye.